Hey everybody, and welcome back to Set the Fight. This is Sully, and I'm with my boy CK and with Bear here. It's just us three today, guys. And a lot of stuff been going on, but I don't know if this is gonna be too long of a podcast. Just trying to get caught up a little bit, talk a little volleyball, and Cole's gonna have some chicken. We talked a little bit before we came on, but yeah, good stuff. Hey, just real quick, Division I volleyball. Let's go down to the top 25 real quick. Nebraska still holding it number 1 with 58 votes. Texas, Jared Elliott's group is number 2. Kentucky, then Pitt, number 5. Stanford, Arizona State, SMU, Louisville, and Texas A&M and TCU rounding out the top 10. Purdue hanging at number 11. Wisconsin drops to number 12. Creighton at 13. Kansas 14. Miami, Florida. Keno is hanging at number 15. 16 is Tennessee, then BYU. Penn State, Baylor, Minnesota rounds out the top 20. Then you have North Carolina, USC, Indiana, Colorado, and UCLA rounds out the top 25. And I have to tell you, Coley, saw your gal out at Colorado. Pretty impressive middle blocker out there. Really, really fun to watch.
Yeah, she can really stuff a lot of balls, and she's a great middle. She's a great player. They're having a great year right now. Colorado's been on some really great streaks, had some great wins. I'm so happy for Kayla Payne and her teammates, and obviously for our friend Heather and Colin and just all our friends and their families, just to watch their kids be successful. To play at that level is amazing in itself, and then when you're playing at that level and you're super successful, I mean, we are kids, or any kid is like, just to think about being in the top 25 in the country in your sport in college is incredible. And to be able to, it's incredible.
It really is.
Even if it happens one time. I went to Northridge, right? Like, we were just super excited to be in anything ranked in those days for any sport. Yeah. And to see that is great. And, weird's the wrong word, but it's a different season, and I'm seeing it in college football. I don't know if it's because of NIL money and people are getting spread out, but there's some really good teams, and not all the teams that used to just dominate everyone are winning. Teams are getting upset. Teams are winning. UCLA, great example. I go to the match a week and a half ago. They smash USC, smash them. They go out to Wisconsin, lose 3 straight in Wisconsin. Yesterday, USC beats Wisconsin in 4 at Wisconsin. Right. Now, Charlie Furberger is still not playing, which is a huge difference.
Sucks.
But guys, this is Wisconsin. Their next setter's pretty darn good.
Yeah, of course.
She got recruited to go play volleyball at Wisconsin. It was
for a reason.
Top 5 programs in the country. You would expect her to be pretty good. Agreed. And, she's proven it. She's getting into the groove. They're doing, after the first game, they've lost a couple, but they've won some good ones. So it's just a unique season, and there's so much parity, and it's pretty cool to watch. The level, as we talk about, is just incredible, and some really good matches. I watched Texas, Oklahoma yesterday on ESPN. Went 4. Oklahoma pushed it in game 3. Sold out crowd as always at Texas. Super exciting to watch. Both teams competing. Both games, or all games, went down, to the wire. It wasn't a beatdown. It was really high level volleyball and fun to watch.
Yeah, and I for all of our fans out there, I do annoy CK and Bear when I send them my daughter's stats. So actually, Tegan did a fantastic. She had such a fantastic couple of matches there, and she's finding her groove a little bit from being out for 2 years and being a trackster going into it. So super proud of her. And I showed you guys her stats, but led the team in kills and then by far in the hitting percentage. So super proud of her. I'll go see her in a couple weeks, but that's fun for Dad. But Bear, we talked about before you got on. You had a couple shout outs. Some people listen to our podcast, huh?
Yeah. I ran into an old high school buddy, Robbie Briggs, and Robbie was a quarterback. He was a dynamite basketball player. We played basketball together in high school, and then we played volleyball together too. He's a year younger, and ran into him at his brother's restaurant down in Huntington Beach, Matter of Craft, Tom Briggs. And Tom Briggs he graduated in '83, but he's also a volleyball guy. And so it's volleyball in their family. But anyways, Robbie just said, "Hey, I like the podcast," and had no idea that he even knew that there was a podcast going on. So I just reminded him to like and subscribe, Robbie.
Yep,
and
like
so it was good. So giving him a shout out there.
Cool. Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
then when I went to Tegan's match and the assistant coach at SIUE was trying to give me some sign language. I'm like, I'm not sure what he was trying to say. And then he's like, 5-0, I'm like, so he was Josh Comer out there at SIU. He gave us a shout out for our 50th, and he's like keep it going. So that was awesome. So just give him a little shout out as well. But
yeah, I think it's been fun, and like we talk about this all the time, and that's what's cool for the three of us to get on this, because that's what we originally started. I didn't know we were going to turn it into interview central, which has just been amazing, right? For all three of us. Like we just have so many folks that want to come on and talk and tell stories, and but like for us three to chat is great. But it's been awesome, and it's been fun, and so many people enjoy it. I enjoy talking and talking volleyball, and I think we do. And there's so much to report, so many good things, bad things. We're gonna have the next guests that we're gonna have on here are gonna go a whole different pivot, talk about mental, acuity, and how to perform at a high level, and how to deal with not performing at a high level.
Sure.
So, it's been fun to do that. We say this again, and it's not about tooting our own horns, but like, we've had a college club volleyball player on here, right? Like we've had, a manager, I was going to say a manager that got cut from his high school volleyball program. We've had Olympians, we've went on. So it's been cool to do that. And we're going to continue to have guests and, continue to try to push the envelope with the kind of guests we can get, right? Like that want to talk volleyball, whether it's, athletes, actors, normal human beings that just want to talk volley.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a couple of refs on here, just to pick their brains a little bit about all the changes and it's gone over the years, and it's not like they're in their 20s. They've been around for a long time, so they've seen the evolution. I'd love to get to hear their perspective on that.
I might have to sit that one out.
What's that?
I said I might have to sit that one out.
No, you just they don't bring any yellow or red cards. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Yeah, but also, and I prepped you guys before we came on this, and we're not ready to talk about it, but I'm going to get on the commentators again. I thought they did an outstanding job at the beginning. Then the more and more I'm hearing like some, I'm like, oh my gosh, we have to turn the volume off, and I don't want to do that. But I think that's another episode that we can chat about that as well. But all good stuff here. I think the women's game is still heating up. There was no big bounces. Wisconsin went down, like I said, 12 from number 9, but everybody else in the top 25 stayed in the top 25. No one crept in or got bounced out. So, and that was as of yesterday. So
nice.
All good stuff in the world of volleyball, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we can report, where we're at here. Southern California, one of the best, not always, but one of the top, high school, both boys and girls volleyball programs, or, high school programs in the country. They're starting their playoffs this week, and it's going to be kind of cool to see who ends up winning it. Sierra Canyon's the front runner, but Mater Dei, Marymount, Miracosta, Redondo, there's some good teams, and it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. But that's starting this week for girls high school. Club's going to start right around the corner. Some girls will be done with high school volleyball. In fact, some are done with high school volleyball. Playoffs start this week. So,
is that right? They start this week.
That is correct. So if your team as varsity didn't make the playoffs, you're done. And if you're on a freshman or JV team, you're done. So they're already playing club. They could have started, I believe, I don't know the exact rules, but I'm assuming they could start this week, practicing at least.
Yeah. I was watching UNI a little bit too. That's Northern Iowa for everybody out there. And they, I believe, are on a 50 conference match win streak. 50 consecutive matches against Missouri Valley Conference opponents in the regular season right now.
Wow.
50. That's a lot. Yeah. That's a hell of a lot.
What is that, like a lot of 3 or 4 seasons?
Probably. What's that? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
At least 2 seasons. Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. Well, pretty impressive for sure.
That is.
I always get updates from Tegan, all the big hitters out there just killing it right now. There's some big highlights and just some great athletes performing really well at a high level right now. So it's like, again, exciting time. We just can't watch all of them. I go up on ESPN Plus. I'm like, okay, there's 20 to choose from at 12 o'clock. You know what I mean? So you just got to pick one. So just all good stuff.
Well, and during the weekend, all the major channels, there's a ton of volleyball throughout the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Not just the Big Ten Network, the SEC Network, but it's on Fox and it's on NBC and it's on Jarrett's game yesterday was on ESPN.
Yeah.
That's
Hey,
great.
tell us about your UCLA USC match. You did a bunch of interviews for Set the Pipe. We put those on social media. Looked like you absolutely had a ball there. Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, it's unique for me because I know a lot of the women that play there at UCLA right before I met Michelle. So Allison Randick, who was, Michelle's best friend and our best friend and Jake's godmother, and I knew her before I knew Michelle.
Okay.
Jenny Evans, Marissa Hatchett, Natalie Williams, all of those women that played, I had met them during the summer with the USA, that World University Games team, and would see them in the summers at USA's volleyball stuff. So for me, it's pretty awesome to go up and see friends of mine, right? But also feel honored to be a husband of a woman that played at a school like that, and to be honored in a place like that. I don't ever want to take that for granted for being her husband.
And it's good to celebrate her, right? Yeah,
absolutely. She played volleyball at UCLA. They were honoring the 90 team that won the national championship, which had several women on that team that went to the 91 team, which was the year after that she was on that one, right? Joy was there. Joy was on the 91 team that lost. So it was great. And for us, it was just, for me, it's awesome to see friends and just be around volleyball and to be at UCLA, my son hooped there, all of that stuff. But it was also fun to watch that level of volleyball and be on the floor and be back into it and pay attention to it and to see the level and the speed and the size, of these women.
It was cool being in Poly. Poly is a great place to watch a game.
Yeah,
And
it
the
is.
atmosphere
Grabbed Alfie right away. How sweet was that?
Yeah, that was fun.
Knowing that he's been on our pod, awesome.
Yeah. Well, I got to get into the VIP, alumni section because I'm the husband of an alumni, and so they did a volleyball. Amy Nehi-Polly did a fantastic job on organizing this for the alumni, and you guys do that at Long Beach, and that's the other thing Jarrett talked about, and that's what I love when I talk to him about culture. And in today's world of college sports, the turnaround, the money, and all of that stuff, you're going to lose guys and girls, period. It is what it is. But if you can build somewhat of a culture, and that stuff kind of matters, stuff like that matters. And so if you can build that kind of culture, and that's what Alfie's doing, right? UCLA's had such great tradition. He's trying, trying to just get, more people involved, like all the schools are trying to do, to get more of their alumni involved for a few reasons, right? One is obviously the money, but the other is to just get back and be there. And so Michelle's watching the match and all her friends are watching the match. She's laughing. They're talking about games they played in 1990 and where they did this and what they did that. And just to see the joy in all their faces of what that they were there. Like, we're watching this great match out here of these women, and it's like all of them sitting here. You guys all did that too.
I did it.
That's what you did.
Yeah.
And it was cool. It was a really cool day.
Here's a question for you guys. So when I was a volunteer coach out at UNI, the culture there was amazing, and it still continues to this day. Do you think culture is more important in the mid majors, knowing there isn't a ton of that NLI coming in, right? Or is it even more important in the top one, the ones that do have that NLI money, to basically say, not only do we have money, but here's our culture as well? What do you guys think?
Well, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it is.
It's tough one because if you look at the biggest corporations, Microsoft, Apple, Twitter, when they were big, they put their people first. So you look at it from that perspective, it's tough because if you're playing, if you saw over the weekend, whether it's true or not, Kentucky basketball came out and had something like a $20 million budget, right? They're paying 13 to 15 guys $20 million. Do the math. That's incredible. If you're paying that kind of money, what's the culture? Hey, we're going to go to the movies together, guys. You're fucking getting $4 million. You better go get 14 rebounds and 15 points or get your fucking ass out of here. Pardon my language.
Yeah, it's
so it's you can build a culture. We're here to play basketball, but they came here to make $5 million and play basketball. And so when you're going to Cal State Northridge, like my school, and that basketball coach who's kind of said, he's took it like a junior college, and Coach Newman's awesome. He said, come to Northridge. I'll teach you. I'll help you. We'll work hard. We're going to be really good. We're going to compete for a conference title and then go make millions of dollars, right? Like, go ahead and do that, and then you build that culture. That kind of culture is not just come here and, compete, but now you need to have camaraderie and friendship because you're not as good on paper as that Kentucky team. Doesn't mean you can't beat them. I'm not saying you can't beat them, but I'm saying on paper, that team is a lot better. And so, culture and togetherness and stuff like that can win you games. Is it going to win you a championship at that level with that kind of money, with those teams being paid that money? I don't know. We're seeing a lot of parity, teams that don't usually lose to other teams are losing, and, teams are involved in big wins. And then you turn around and go like, how did you lose this game when you won that game? Like you would never have seen that 5 years ago, I don't think, or not, I shouldn't say never, not as much.
Two separate situations is you kind of wonder if Long Beach were to take on the UCLA and SC and beat those two, they're a mid-major, right? UNI, and they beat Drake, they beat Iowa State. They didn't get to play Iowa, but Iowa State's better than Iowa. And UNI, so the mid-major is the best in that state right now, and they don't offer the big dollar. So it's a very, very unique atmosphere, culture, dynamics within women's volleyball right now, or because basketball hasn't come in yet, so a couple more years, 2 or 3 more years in basketball, see how that all kind of pans out. But I
still think you need both, and I think no matter what level you are, the better the culture, the better the program, the better the kids, the better everything. If you're happy to go to work every day, even if you're not making a lot of money, but you're happy to go to work, you're going to kill it. If you're making,
like you said about Microsoft, Apple, what about the smaller companies that are in your, in your not neighborhood, but in your smaller towns that they want 100 people in their company, they want 50 people in their company instead of 20,000, right? Culture is going to be different, and taking care of the people and how they take care of the people and all that kind of good stuff. So very, very good analogy. By the way, Corey.
Braden played a fall game this weekend, and afterwards I was talking to another high school coach. I went to college with him, and he coaches a great program. And what he gave such a great compliment to Braden's team. And I said, yeah, it's fall. Whenever he goes, you know what, they really like playing together. And I said, you're right. They do. They actually all love each other. They've been around for a while. They really, really, truly do. Most of them have all of them, I shouldn't say the whole team, to me, it seems like, has for the most part accepted their roles and love each other. They've all loved each other regardless of roles on the court. But it was a cool statement to make. And so that goes back to what I was going to say to culture is, if you don't like, it doesn't mean you still can't win if you don't like your teammate. We've all hated people we played with, and you still go out and play and do what you compete. Do. Yeah. But when you like each other and you want to do what's best for your teammate over you, those teams are hard to beat, man.
Chemistry.
I don't care what sport it is. I don't care what sport it is. Momentum, love, people. You've heard the people, the mom pick up the truck when the kids are, not that that stuff together can get you places. Now you still have to be damn good and you have to be competing, but that stuff wins. Culture wins. Culture keeps people, and also culture brings you lifelong great memories instead of heartache.
I even said that to Tegan. I'm like, I gotta tell you, T, in terms of like player to player, you guys probably shouldn't have won that match. You probably shouldn't have, but they didn't want to play together. And she's like, yeah, Dad, you're right. When I was out there, it just seemed like they were just playing. I'm like, yeah, you just can't just play the game, right? It's chemistry, and you said respecting each other. And then when you like each other on top of it, it's so hard to beat. So hard to beat. So yeah, it's. I just thought I'd bring that up. I noticed it on TV. I noticed it. So just kind of curious what you guys thought about that. What do you think, Barry? You're the coach here. You're the actual coach.
What's your take on it?
Well, I probably lean a little more towards culture, and I mean, I'm in the community college, so I don't really have a say on big time colleges or whatever. But you know what? Looking back at Long Beach, I mean, we didn't make any money. Half of us didn't even half of us didn't even we were walk-ons or have scholarships, right? And I mean, obviously, it was a special team in the '90s, early '90s, and stuff. And we're still lifelong friends. When we get together, we truly love spending time with each other to this day. And it's 30 some years later. And so I lean a little more towards. I think culture is very, very important.
Yeah. Well, I think Long Beach and Northridge recruited a lot of the same kind of guys. I think, you know, Price and Ray were different, but the same in ways of old school and looking for people that just wasn't the best player, but what was the best fit for your program. And the other thing is, to be fair, and I'm sure when we do get JP on here, is you also were back then, you were recruiting to Northridge and Long Beach. It wasn't as easy to get the top players. I mean, Long Beach, like if you were the top player in the country right now, you're one or two or maybe three going to Long Beach. I mean, they're in the finals every year. Like, like if this was in our year, 1 out of 10 would maybe be going to Long Beach, right? Not 9 out of 10.
We wanted to go to UCLA.
UCLA, SC, Pepperdine, Stanford.
Yeah, Pepperdine.
That was it.
Right.
Those four.
Maybe Hawaii, but that's it. That's all. Those are the only teams that ever won natties. They were always the best teams. You know, so like trying to recruit and get like blue chip kids into Northridge, and you guys cracked the code. I mean, you can go back to Schroeds and a few others, and you know, obviously Rocky and those guys, but like for blue chip kids that just happen to be, I mean, I don't know if there's anyone on paper yet. You know, your setter from last year, maybe after 1 year, but that's better than Hilliard. You know, it's better than Hilliard, and how you guys, you know, end up getting Brent. You know, same thing with Price and Northridge. Like, guy was playing hoops. He goes to Pierce. He plays JC, goes to play for Northridge for 2 years. Second year, he's one of the best players in the country. A couple years later, he's winning a bronze medal in the Olympics. Like, you know, Price and Ray came into those guys. Now, Delhi was a big part of getting, you know, Hilly, but no one even knew who Hilly was when he was at Dana Hills. He went to frickin' Humboldt his freshman year. Guy played Humboldt, went to Humboldt, you know, college, was a lumberjack up there in Humboldt. And I mean, comes down after the next year, plays in the frickin' tournament, comes back, and the guy's arguably one of the best hitters to ever play college volleyball, men's volleyball.
Yeah, he walked in. Hilliard walked into the gym, started hitting twos, bouncing off the ceiling. And Ray comes in and goes, "What do you think about the new guy?" I'm like, "That's the NCAA freshman of the year right there." Like, are you kidding me? I mean, I know you recruited, but have you seen him play? Like, the guy was phenomenal when he came in at that first year. I mean, he was so good. And then obviously he's one of the best that's ever been. So
it's just crazy when you look at guys like him, and it's such a great story to tell because he wasn't even really recruited. I mean, and it wasn't like he was at, like, you know, Lake Havasu High School. I mean, City High School,
Hills is a big program,
which is in South Orange County, where they play Corona Del Mar, they play Newport Harbor, they play San Clemente, they go up and play Miracosta. I mean, you're talking Dean Hills.
Great program.
Yes, it's hard to believe that UCLA and SC did not find him at that school, because I don't know if he would have went there, but if you're a senior in high school and you're being recruited by those two schools and no one else, you probably have a good chance to go to one of those two as a volleyball player, like if you really love the game. But for him to go to Humboldt was cool. And you know, I mean, shit, you know, I look at Sammy the same way, you know, how it just worked out. We got to go to Northridge, and all of a sudden Northridge gets Sammy, and then, you know, Kenny Lynch, myself, and Geeter and Greg Weaver, 3 of the 4 of us were in the Fab 50, all from the San Fernando Valley, and we all went to Northridge. And Matt Unger had went the year before from the Palisades. He was a Fab 50 guy. So Northridge never really got anyone like that.
Well, look at for us, Matty Lou. Right? Transfer. Alan Knight.
Figgy
transfer. Tim Bear Johnson. Transfer. Mike Nelson. Transfer.
Mike Nelson.
Turhead Douglas. Transfer. Right?
I remember playing against T when he was at Pierce.
That's a lot of guys that come from the JC level. And that's the thing. Like, when you say transfer, all the people that are listening, this is a long time ago. So it wasn't like you transfer.
JC transfer.
They were all coming from JCs, learning.
Community college.
Community college.
Thank you.
Community college.
Junior college. Community
college transfer. Anyway. So no, different times, but still those diamonds in the rough that are still there, either because they just didn't have that motivation, they didn't have the grades, whatever the case may be. But yeah, transfer portal puts a whole new spin on this thing. So
I have a question for you here, Bear. I want to put you kind of on the spot to talk to coaches, because I'm curious for you, because I think it's important for young coaches who play. If you played, you kind of get it. Like, what's the most important thing for you overall architecture for culture? And what's one of the first things you do in the beginning of the year when the kids, whether it's the first week of school, the first practice, when you start to get to them to mold and build a certain type of culture that you want for your program?
Well, that's a good question. What I like to do with the guys, I the first practice, I set down some ground rules. Okay. And that's not really culture, but it's like, so at least we get on the same page. Okay. And then one of the things, we're trying to grow the program up at Santiago Canyon. So a lot of times I make it basically mandatory for my guys to go to the women's games. And that gives them something to do. And then I go, hey, you go to the women's games, and then they come to our games, and trying to build a culture with the women's program as well. So it's kind of what I do.
I think that's brilliant. I mean, we did that at Northridge. I'm sure you guys did it at Long Beach, and it matters. And when you're at schools like that, community colleges, commuter state schools, where people aren't, packing because you're in the middle of a small town and everyone goes to the game, like, you've got to manufacture that yourself. And if you can, it can be special. And like I said, when I was at Northridge, it was lightning in a bottle. We got lucky in every sport, from swimming to women's softball to soccer to not football, leave that one out. All the rest, from baseball to volleyball. It was incredible, actually, from going from D2 to D1 and being in it, like in College World Series and in the super regionals, and like women's volleyball making it to the first round of the playoffs. Like, would be almost impossible now. Like, going, oh, we just went D1 and we're playing against USC in the first, like, all of that was so cool. And to do what you do, which is, I think, important, especially at a school that doesn't have, 100,000 people at their football games to come to all their supports. Like, you just to build that camaraderie, friendship.
Guys, they're doing something outside volleyball, but it's actually in volleyball. So they're hanging out outside of practice. We only go a few days a week during the off season, but that's when the girls' season is. So, sometimes they travel to other schools, like, if they go down to Orange Coast or whatever, and then all the home matches, they're mostly there.
We were known for our disco parties, by the way. Long Beach State was men's volleyball disco parties, but that would be a Brett Winslow type of conversation, or Mark Cairns type kind of.
Yeah. Would you guys go to the games dressed as disco and then parties after?
Our fans would come dressed as in disco, and they would just meet us over
party
there
afterwards.
The match. Yep. And they were a madhouse up there, which is great. So, I mean, but we got into it. I mean, once we had the good teams, especially if SC came into town, it was wall to wall. I mean, I had a buddy that drove 5 hours to surprise me. They wouldn't even let him in. So I was coming over, but nonetheless, I got to see him. So
you were probably playing in the gold mine, so that's why they couldn't let him in.
It was the gold mine, because there was no pyramid back then.
Yeah, no room.
No, there was
no room in those gyms. Those gyms were small. I mean, our gym that's what made, like, even though
low ceilings.
I think it was like 3,000. I think when I was playing, it was like 3,000 people they could put into our gym. I think it's less now because they redid it. It's beautiful. It's just really small. But when you can put that many people in, yours was way smaller than that. And some of the places we played at were pretty small. Like, I loved playing at LMU because that was a big place, right? That was a big. And then you played at Poly, or depends where you played at SC in their old.
Galen at SC, I think, right?
We played in both. We played in the old gym and then Galen.
We did play.
It wasn't called the men's gym. I don't know what it was called. The men's gym's at UCLA, and I never played a match there. But we did play at the Wooden Center and in Poly. But at SC, we played at the Lion Center, and then
we played in that little gym.
That old little gym we used to play.
I played in 1990. We did that. Tom Selleck was there because of his stepson was there. He'd show up, and it was tight. Too. We upset him there. That was awesome. Yeah, I remember that. Big time. Robert Cooch was an animal on his block that match. It was sick. But
how's the women's teams doing at Santiago this year, Berdine?
You know what? They just got a new coach, and so they're struggling a little bit. But she also coaches the beach team, and our AD, the old coach left right before the season started.
Oh.
And so they're kind of in a tight spot right there. That's why we're trying to give them as much support as possible.
Yeah.
But the AD seems to like her a lot and thinks that she can do some great things in the near future.
Excellent. Good stuff. Well,
I
boys,
mean,
it's been 30 minutes. I didn't think we were going to go on very long today, but I wanted to give Division I some shout out and people that support Set the Pipe. Merch is up. Go subscribe as well, because all the support really helps us out with this channel. So again, boys, always good to see you guys.
It's always fun.
And we have a couple of interviews in the pipe, so we'll be sounds like we're going to be busy all the way through the end of the year. So all good stuff.
always such a pleasure, boys. Love it.
Okay.
Great seeing you guys.
Love you guys.
Like always, love you too.
Yep. Talk soon. See ya. Set the pipe, baby.